Welcome everyone! Here we are, back for our, what is actually our last session of 2021. Gosh, I had to go through the years in my head. 2017, no. 2018, no. I got there in the end.
We did sort of skip a couple years anyway at one point, didn't we?
I feel like we've lost a couple. Yeah, there's a time jump.
The Fae took those years, guys.
We lost 2 years, and then we all aged like 20 years or something like that.
This is the worst
Fae.
time dilation.
It is. We are back, though. We missed last week. We were all sort of taking a Christmas type of break there. And now we are back and ready to jump back into this story with the Foundlings, who have made their way through the Witchlight Carnival into the land, the realm of Prismere in the Feywild, specifically to the realm of the hag Bavlorna, which is the land called Hither. Apparently one of 3 that these hags have basically taken for themselves. In the last game, our strange little group of heroes had made their way through part of Hither, and had a couple odd encounters. You have collected some information from some of the locals. You have freed a fairy dragon knight from another fairy realm, and collected a key from a goblin by the name of Jingle Jangle, with an unknown purpose. And you have traversed the swamps now twice, kind of back and forth across this realm. And in the final moments of the last game, you had encountered a strange animated suit of armor in this old battleground, this old lost battleground in the swamps, and managed to defeat it by understanding that it was mirroring whoever was closest to it. And you managed to disassemble it, experiment a bit with it. At one point, Sam got sort of trapped inside of it. And now I think that Thorn is wearing it a little bit like a C-3PO backpack or something like that. And I think, like, as you're walking around, I think we said that it's still mirroring you, and there's like pieces of it sticking out of your backpack, and as you're moving, occasionally like a foot will flap or a hand will wave or something like that. What are your thoughts on this strange realm now that you're seeing more of it?
Well, I think Thorn's just excited about the quality of the steel in this animated armor. He used to work in a smithy, so like seeing the quality of this armor, he's jazzed. Like, we just need to deal with the problem of it having a mind of its own.
It doesn't really have a mind of its own, though. It has your mind, basically. All it does is mimic what you're doing. So it literally doesn't have a mind of its own. When you walk too far away from it, it just stands there until somebody else gets close enough for it to mirror.
Wait. You guys, if we could inverse that magical property so that it's still doing everything you do, but instead of mirrored, just it's on you, it would be power armor. Are you following me here? This is amazing. We could put Sam or someone tiny in there, and it would have all the strength of the armor instead of their strength. I think this is awesome.
I'm just wondering how we would accomplish that thing.
At this point, you would need to mount them backwards on a little seat inside of it.
Or like a little backpack up on the top, like a little harness.
Thus, Iron Sam was born.
Or like a little Buddy Bjorn on the front. And then, like, go! Big arm comes over the top. Yeah.
That's like Ripley in the power armor in Alien.
All right.
I love it.
We're going to have to find an enchanter.
And
What are you talking about? You just need to strap someone to the back of it.
And tackling problems like this is a very convenient way to avoid thinking about how traumatizing being in this weird-ass place is.
Is it that traumatizing, or is this like a weird, odd dream that you can't quite grasp?
I hope it's not quite a dream because I got knighted. And I enjoy this, and I would like to keep that.
That is true. I forgot that Tana has now been. You have now a monarch in your merry band, and you have a knight.
I've got a crown on my head.
And you're the crown. You're the Witchlight.
Yeah.
Mark,
But
yeah.
is that knighting? Is it kind of like the same thing as buying that 1 square foot of land in Ireland to get yourself a title?
Wait a second. What are you talking about?
No, it's totally different. It's 1 square foot in Prismere.
What do you mean that land doesn't mean anything? Hold on a second.
Rob, sorry to break your Christmas present apart.
I gotta go. I gotta talk to somebody about a square foot of land in Ireland. And now I'm just gonna go do that, even if it doesn't mean anything. I want to go do that.
It's like getting a star named after you. I love it. I have a star named after me
Still
from my
awesome.
parents, and I was like, awesome.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Or like when you could adopt a whale through the World Wildlife Federation.
Oh, yeah.
That's
They
just
would,
sad, though.
Send you pictures of it and like, here's Stumpy. He's still swimming out there. Like, you go get him, Stumpy.
Okay, now I want to do this. I've never heard of that one.
I haven't
Yeah,
heard
somebody-
that one either.
Wow.
Gifted that to me
What
when
if
I
it's just the same whale and they send pictures to dozens of people of the same whale?
Probably is.
Whatever.
would
It's for the
know?
greater good.
Or what happens if they just stop sending you pictures of the whale, like
Well,
suddenly?
Stumpy's bit the dust.
Or it's got like a plastic bag in its mouth or something.
Straw up its nose or something.
Oh,
But I mean,
Stumpy.
well, the subscription only lasts for like a year. So like,
Oh,
all right,
that's smart of them. That's really smart of them.
the low mortality rate on those whales.
getting worse, man.
Wow.
That's chaotic good right there. If they did have several people adopt the same whale, that's chaotic good.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Whales are expensive. They require lots of parents with lots of money.
I have a timeshare on a whale.
You only own it for like that day that the picture comes to you or what?
You can't look at it. It's my turn to look.
Yeah.
My day.
I think whale timeshare is my favorite.
Whale
Oh,
timeshare.
Sure.
It's going to be our next show, Whale Timeshare.
Speaking of strange animals that you have some sort of control over, you also have a snail. Talking about whales, now you have a snail in your group as well.
Ew, lettuce too.
You have lettuce too. Or I thought it was lettuce B.
Is it lettuce be?
Let us be.
I think it's
I like
lettuce
it.
B because just in case something happens to lettuce B, you'll end up with lettuce C.
Lettuce be.
little
This
bit
is
lettuce.
your trusty knight's mount, lettuce. And everybody else is writing it too, I think. This is just like this weird vision I have as this group sort of crests this hill out of the swamp and looks down on the misty realm of Downfall, the city of bullywugs that exists here in Hither, that you've heard of and now are seeing for the first time. The first real bastion of civilization, if you want to call it that. From where you are, you can't really see all that much. The mists are pretty heavy here. You can see the edge of a lake. You can see kind of billowing up out of some clouds. At the edge of this lake is another balloon, like the large canvas patch side of an inflated balloon. And you can see a couple figures on the top of it, kind of, you don't know what they're doing up there. The little humanoid figures kind of scurrying around on the top. You can see that there's some rivers and streams that flow into this lake ahead. And you can see a couple boats that are floating in the lake itself. Also having figures that don't seem to be actually going anywhere. They seem to be just lounging in these boats. In fact, the figures that are on top of this balloon, first you thought that they were working, and as you get a little bit closer, you realize one of them is just like sunning itself on the top of the balloon, just laying there, and the other one is doing a little bit of work, but you're not really sure like if it's just kind of busy work or if it's just picking at a seam or something. But as you get closer still, you can make out that these figures have frog-like features. They are bullywugs. And as you get closer still, there's a pair of them in a boat that come kind of rowing casually up this all small river that's beside you, that leads into the lake. And a couple of them spot you on the shore, and they raise their frog-like hands and wave up to you, kind of casually, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And one of them calls out, "Welcome to Downfall. Have a nice day."
Thank you very much, my good man, and a good day to you as well.
Thank you.
"You are welcome." And one of them just pulls again real slowly on the oars. They drift a little ways, like up this river, and then kind of start drifting back the way they came, sort of like, 2 rows forward, 1 row back. They don't seem to be in any particular hurry to get anywhere. And you can see as you pass by them that they're very well dressed for bullywugs. They seem to have like a lace at the ends of their coats and these kind of ruffs around their necks. And something that might be velvet, you're not entirely certain. Very impractical in the swamp, and it looks as if the clothes that they are wearing have been affected by the swamp like you might expect. They are kind of dirty and dingy and stained. But they are dressed very fancy.
Well, so far, so good. Not too threatening or menacing.
I like this place. They're so nice.
Well, I mean, they were really nice before they tried to rob us of our memories. Remember with them rabbits?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, they were always kind of jerks. Those guys just waved and then rode away.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I still
get
eye them.
better than that.
They're not even really rowed away. They're still sort of barely making their way by you.
They're just having a pleasant day out on the water.
It looks like they're having a pleasant day out in the swampy lake.
Am I
All right.
the only one that remembers that these creatures work for the witch that stole things from us?
Oh, I
I
remember.
don't think any of them are to be trusted, whether they're having a good day or not.
Yeah.
Either way, just keep your wits
Regardless
about you.
And be on guard.
Right.
As you draw closer to the biggest landmark you can see, which is this balloon and like a dock below the balloon, it seems like the balloon itself is tied just a little bit out over the lake with a couple other boats nearby. You don't see any other bullywugs except for the 2 that are near the balloon. One of them on top and one of them kind of climbing up the side. You can see off to your left there appears to be a structure, but you can't really make it out in the mist. And then ahead, something larger that you can see a tiny bit of the top of, some sort of tall cottage or something like that in the middle of the lake. You were told by Jingle Jangle a few things about Downfall. One of them being about the bullywugs, and that the bullywugs consider themselves to be noble creatures. They call Downfall the seat of the king of the bullywugs, and they hold court here, and they like to keep up appearances. It's all about treating each other like cavaliers in a way, respect each other and be polite. But on the other side of that, Jingle Jangle had also mentioned that they are sort of constantly undermining each other through politics, and that they've had multiple kings over the years, and that they kind of replace them fairly quickly. There's another thing that you notice as you get closer to the lake, and that is the faint whiff of smoke on the wind. First, you think maybe, well, they've got like ovens or fires or something like that, but this doesn't quite smell like. This doesn't smell like a cooking fire. This smells a little bit more like something burning. Maybe they're just burning it for heat, but it's a swamp. It's already pretty warm. Not really sure where the source of it is because there's mists and fog all around, but it's something that's a little weird. Something that you didn't smell elsewhere in the swamps.
And we can't identify what the smell is?
It just smells like smoke.
Okay.
But it doesn't have it's not like a cooking fire. Like a cooking fire, you'd smell something cooking, like a meat or a stew or something else. This just smells like a campfire.
Hmm.
And the weather's strange. It's the middle of the day. It's a little odd.
For a given value of middle of the day, because there's no actual day or night here, right?
True. It's more like twilight. I always forget about that. That there is no real day or night. It's always at the end of the day here.
Well,
What did Sir Talavar tell us about where to find Clapperclaw? Just in the city? No other explanation?
He said the last time he had seen Clapperclaw was in Downfall, over near the court, he said, which is on the northern side of the lake.
Right.
He said the Clapperclaw tends to move around, though. So where he could be, he doesn't seem to have a particular place that he lives. He doesn't have a home here. And technically, Downfall is not Clapperclaw's home. It's just a place that he has come to because there are other people here.
Okay. Well, I think we should probably try for the north part of the city. It's the only lead we got.
Sounds
All right.
good.
I start steering our snail that way.
All right. When you begin moving towards the northern part of this, and calling it a city is, it's probably not the right word. Now that you're here, this feels more like a large village. Like you're not seeing real big buildings. You haven't seen any places like structures where people might live. In fact, the only structure you can see is off to your right. There seems to be some sort of wooden, maybe a watchtower or something. You can't quite make it out. It's just a little bit out of your the range of your vision in the mists, and it's across the river where those two bullywugs were, casually rowing through. And that's to the south of you. Heading off to the north, you quickly come to a set of boards that have been put into the swamp to help anybody that's here walk easier. You don't really need that because you have the snail. The snail's good at moving through the swamp on its own. But it is a sign that they have something here, that they have taken pains to make it easier to get around here. The docks also where the balloon are is like the first structure you've seen that's built. And there is kind of like a pier and a wharf there and a couple of small rowboats that are currently empty. You head past that. The two bullywugs that are on the balloon don't really pay you any mind. One of them kind of looks down, the one that's doing a little bit of work, but doesn't do anything other than to note that you're down there. When you're traveling north, you come to another section of the lake where there is another inlet from the swamps, and you see that there's like large stones that you'll need to step across to get to the northern part of the lake. They're a little slimy, but you also have this snail which can swim, so you could just boat across if you want. Are you going to bring the snail with you everywhere you go in this place? There's no place to really leave it just yet, so there's just wondering for the future.
They're pretty fast, right? Like that wouldn't slow us down.
The snail moves slower than you walk, but it's easier because it's saving you energy. It doesn't move too much slower than you walk, but it's not one of the fast snails like from the carnival.
Suggest that we take it with us wherever we can until someone tells us that we cannot.
Yeah,
That's a
that
good
sounds
plan.
like a good plan.
All right, we'll assume that that's what you're doing then. The snail swims across this little section of water to the northern part of Downfall. As you're passing through these rocks, one in the middle you notice rises a bit out of the water, and you see that it's not a rock at all, but like the head of some sort of stone creature. As its eyes kind of rise up out of the water, it looks at you as you pass by. But it doesn't do anything other than just note that you're there. And as you pass, it sinks back down into the water itself.
While it's up, I just give it a good evening.
There's no answer from it.
Okay.
Maybe just a couple little bubbles. And that's about it.
Good thing we didn't try and step on that.
Might have been an issue. When you make it to the northern shore of this, on the other side of this inlet, you can smell that smell of smoke has gotten stronger, and you can hear somewhere nearby in the mists the sound of somebody calling out for help. They're just like, "Oh, help! Oh, someone come and help me!"
Well, all right, let's go.
All right.
I'm already running.
You hop off the snail because the snail's not super fast at running.
Yep.
The snail can't run.
Yeah, I'll follow Tana.
As you do, you come bursting out of the mist at the front of this large circular-like structure, couple stories tall, or maybe it's just really large on the inside. And you can see at the top that there's smoke coming out of the top, more smoke than a chimney would create, a smoke like a fire out of control might make. And running out the door of this structure is a bullywug who's wearing sort of the clothes of like a workman over some of this fancy, lacy clothes that the bullywugs wear. He's got a couple of buckets in his hands, and he goes running down to the lake and is at the same time calling out, "Help! Help! Someone! Oh, damn lazy!" And you look over in the lake, and you see there's a couple other bullywugs in a boat who are just casually rowing by, and one of them just waves at him, and they make no move to like go and help him. And he, at this point, turns and notices a new group, your group, rushing out of the fog. And he says, "You there! Go grab a bucket, quick!"
Okay.
Okay.
And he's filled up a couple of these buckets, hands one off to Tana real quick, another one to Thorn. And he says, "Quick, get inside, find the fires, put them out." And he goes running back into this building, smoke kind of pouring out of the doorway.
Bucket chain.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bucket Brigade. Who goes running in?
Well, I'll go running in.
I do.
All right, Tana and Thorn the first run in. What about Sam and Sulfira?
I'm trying to find more buckets to just run down to the lake, come splash, run back down, splash.
So the lake is only like 15 feet or so from the edge of this building. They're all sort of built right at the edge. You look around and you don't see any others on the exterior of this building. Thorn and Tana, you both run inside this structure. It's circular on the inside. There seems to be some steps to the side that go down to some other subsections of this building. You look around and it seems to be a workshop. Let me give you a little better description of it. It's a workshop, but it's sort of a charred mess. There's hazy smoke that hangs all over scattered piles of burned and broken shelves. These are just sort of intermixed with whatever those shelves contained. In fact, you see kind of piled over in one corner a bunch of fabric that looks a little bit like the fabric the balloons are made of. And there's a bunch of like thread kind of loose around there as if it's in the process of being repaired. There's wisps of smoke that snake through the air from several spots that are smoldering in some of this wreckage. You see this bullywug that has, handed these buckets to you. He runs in through the smoke, through the debris, and grabs a couple other buckets. And then he points towards one of the smoldering sections, and he says, "Douse that one over there, quick!"
All right. I go in and I douse it.
Yeah.
All right, Tana, as you head over towards this little smoldering area, you see something jump from the smoldering ashes. Something dark but sort of glowing like a coal when you blow on it. And just as you're getting ready to like toss this bucket into the debris to put out this fire, the coal jumps about 10 feet and lands in a different section of the room and threatens to ignite some new, rubble in this place. Thorn, you see this as well. And you look over in another area and see that there is a second one that is kind of hopping around, just up and down, like on top of something. It seems like it's trying to intentionally light some of this debris on fire.
Wow. Can I try to catch either of them?
You could.
I will. I will try to catch them. Okay.
All right.
One's nearest.
Let's do this a little organized like. Let's go into an initiative, and you still have the link for Roll20, right? Everybody, I can give that to you real quick.
Yeah, if you want to share it.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
There's my dice.
Let me know when you have your initiative rolled, and I will.
I got a 9, unfortunately.
Ready?
Not my best.
Well, you still beat me. I came in with an 8.
A 23.
Nice.
A D20 just shot itself across the floor, so I'm going to roll again. I got a 15 for me.
All right, let's bring this initiative in real quick.
There it is. Found it.
Oh, the die? You found it?
Yeah.
What did it roll on the ground? Did you check?
No, I didn't check.
What's initiative for Thorn again?
8.
Sam.
Nat 20 will give me a 23.
Ooh. Antenna.
9.
9.
9.
All right.
9.
9. And okay. And one more. All right,
Like
so
when I'm
if you
stretching, like I'm actually gonna fight. Like, yeah, all right.
yeah, you watch out, you. I'm gonna beat you. Whatever you are, I'm gonna beat you up. Here we go. I'll put in.
Gotta limber up.
Here we go. Who? Everybody seeing Roll20 there?
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm gonna grab Thorn and Tan and just put you in the room. This Bullywug is down here at the water. Saphira is at the water still. Same thing with Sam. Oops, that's Tana. I'll put Tana over here. And Thorn right there.
I don't think I'm looking at the same map you're looking at.
I don't think I am either.
Yeah,
I see all of you in here. Do you need
Yeah,
to
but you have to put the page, like put us in the page. with the
Oh,
little
yes,
marker.
that might be necessary.
Yeah, I just see the hither map.
All right, now you should see the right one. Look towards the north on this map.
Okay.
This is downfall from what you were seeing before.
There we
You came in kind of down near where these two bullywugs were at D1. We're just sitting there kind of in the little boat. There's a balloon there, and you've crossed the rocks and now come to this building, which is under attack by some sort of hot magical coals. Let's go out of order a little bit first. So Thorn and Tana were making their attack. So we're going to do that real quick. And then we'll go into the actual initiative. So Thorn, you try to grab at one of these, right? Roll,
I'm gonna go and try to grab one.
roll an athletics check for me.
Alrighty. That is a 19.
You grab one, but when you do, it is searing hot. Do you have some sort of protection for your hands?
Only the fact that I do not sense heat and cold.
Which is not really a protection, but everybody else begins to smell like the smell of burning pork.
There's just a moment where I'm like, I got it. And then I'm like, and I run outside and throw it as far as I can.
All right, so you have it. You take a little bit of damage. 2 points. 2 points of damage as it's burning your hands. Then you run outside and you chuck it as far as you can into the water.
Yeah, into the water.
All right.
Well,
One of these goes flying, and as it
I don't wanna
goes,
hurt it. I'm a little
You
worried
don't wanna
about
hurt it?
hurting it. So I'm
Well-
not going to throw it into the water, but like as far from the house as I can get it.
as far from the house,
Oh my god.
you throw it like bounces
Oh,
off.
you dumbass! It's
Bounces
fire,
off
run
lettuce.
water.
You throw it over into the swamp, and you see it kind of in the mist, like it just goes bloop, and you can hear it sizzling because the swamp itself is still very wet.
Pretty
Everything is wet around here. It seems to be having a hard time jumping and moving around, and you hear it kind of sizzling and popping, and you actually hear a tiny bit of like it's not really a voice, but it because it doesn't speak words, but you hear like like it's angry that it's been thrown out of the place where it can burn things down. Tana, what are you doing?
I am going to throw water on the nearest one.
All right, roll a ranged attack roll.
All right. It's So I don't have any ranged weapons. So what do you mean by that?
Roll a. So what's your proficiency bonus? 2, right?
Yeah.
Add that to your dex bonus, and then roll a d20.
Okay, great. Oh, 19 plus 4. Rad. That's 23.
Nice. Now roll a d6 for damage as you dump a bunch of water on this thing.
All right. 5.
5. Ooh, nice. With one giant launch of this bucket, you just upend it right on top of this coal. You capture it entirely, and you just hear it, and it just goes quiet. And when you pull the bucket away, there's just this little smoldering coal that's no longer jumping around. Now we'll go into the actual initiative, and Sam, you are outside just as this bullywug comes running out with 2 more buckets.
All right. Form a line. Sophira. You.
I actually have something prepared for this.
Oh, well then go for it. And I'll just grab a bucket and start filling it up.
All right, you can fill a bucket and move in this round. You fill 2 buckets and move in this round, actually, if you grab them both from him. What does Sophira do?
I would like to scan the outside of the house. Are there visible flames coming out of the house or on top of the house, the roof, the rafters, eaves, that kind of stuff?
No, you're just seeing a lot of smoke right now, and it's probably because there's so much moisture here that it's really hard to set like a blazing fire. Everything is just a little bit wet.
Okay. I'm going to run into the house.
All right, you run into the house. You see...
Quick assessment. Sorry.
It takes you a moment, but you see one other coal trying to set some stuff on fire over near a set of stairs, and you can see the flickering of flames at the bottom of the stairs beyond.
Bottom of the stairs and beyond. Okay. Oh.
Are you able to see the map? You can actually see where these things are.
Okay, cool. It was super pixelated before, but now I can see it. Cool. Okay, so we go in that way, and that's downstairs, those 2 little kind of half circle sections?
Yes, but there's a wall here, so you can only really see the flickering of one of them.
Okay. I would like to... Can I make it all the way in and downstairs to that lower section?
Not and still have enough action economy left for an action.
Okay. Shoot.
We've noted. They've already seen our faces. Come on. Well, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't hear me say it bounces off Lettuce's shell when you chucked it out in the swamp? Lettuce is fine. Lettuce is looking at it just like with, one of its little eye stalks curiously. All right. So,
okay, I'm just
Sophia, are you just double puffing it in there? He's trying to get there quickly.
Down to that lower level, because I have a plan, and that was create or destroy water.
Okay.
I was going to make it rain inside.
I'm assuming that's probably what you're going to do. All right. Sophia runs in there and out of sight. Sam, you're up. If you wanted to take your action, you were sort of kind of waiting.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I've got my buckets of water, and I'm running inside, and whatever's smoldering, I just start chucking buckets on and then run back outside.
You see one as you come around the corner next to Tana. which you can throw a bucket of water at.
Oh, I throw a bucket of water at it. Well, I
Roll.
throw the water at it, and I keep the bucket.
Just throw the whole bucket. Take this.
Yeah.
Roll a ranged attack.
All right. 2 plus stuff. 7, yeah. Right.
7. All right. Well, Tana gets wet. As this bucket just flies wide and like you get a little bit wet. Everything gets wet except for this hot coal, which is just bouncing up and down. It sounds like it's just laughing at you at this point.
I turn to Sam and I say, Sam, how about next time you give me the bucket and then I just
Consider it a preventative measure. And I run back outside.
All right. Well, all you can do at this point is run in, throw the bucket, and you're getting ready to run back out. Sulfira's gone. Tana's up. Tana, you don't have another bucket at this point. Do you run out for another one? Do you grab one from Sam? What do you do?
Does Sam have another one?
Oh, yeah, I did have 2. So
then I grab Sam's.
Yeah. All right. You can grab that one, and you can make another ranged attack roll.
All right. All right, 19.
Nice. You hit this one again. Roll a d6.
All right. 2.
2. This one sort of like you splash it, but it's not a direct hit like that first one. It sizzles and pops, but it doesn't go out. The bullywug outside stands there for a moment, realizing he has no buckets and no other way to sort of fill them. And he comes running back inside to grab one of your buckets, both of the ones that are empty, and then runs back out of the building to refill them. At this point, oops, I almost forgot. At this point, the little fires go. I did the wrong one. Ooh, Katie! Tana and Sam, you're both talking about refilling this bucket real quick, and you look over and you see this coal that you had chucked the bucket at and damaged a little bit. It springs up out of the air and comes flying at the two of you. And specifically, it comes towards Tana.
It's all wet. You're very welcome.
And it's pretty accurate. You're a big target for a small little coal. It hits AC 15, which might not hit.
It does not.
So you managed to jump out of the way with your barbarian reflexes or whatever they are. You're not wearing armor, right? You're just using the natural.
No armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you matrix away from this thing, goes flying over your head, lands nearby, starting to set something else on fire, but now it's aggressive. And it's turning its efforts towards you. The one next to Sulfira does the same thing, sees a threat that has come running down into the structure. Sulfira, AC 20. That one is going to be pretty sure a direct hit unless you have something to block it.
No.
All right. I need you. You take a little bit of damage as it lands on you, and it sort of like burrows in for a second and sets part of your coat on fire. Or cloak, or do you have a cloak? When your clothes, you're set on fire.
Yes.
What
are my clothes?
You're on fire.
What am I wearing? Oh, wow.
You took 2 points of damage, and your clothes are taking more.
Oh no!
Until you take an action to douse this, you're going to take a little bit more fire damage at the start of your turn. All right, Thorn is up. You see at least 2. One is jumping at Tana. Another one is down near Sulfira in this lower room. Yeah. You try to use something so you don't burn yourself? Roll an athletics check. This is basically you're trying to wrestle hot coal.
With Thorn.
Thank you for the call out, meadologist. No, that was my fault. When I was messing with displays, trying to get the window to show, I accidentally turned off my mic. Hopefully you guys should be able to hear me now.
I could hear you the whole time, but
Yeah, I could hear you just fine.
Yeah, it's Zoom was or OBS was where I turned it off. Sorry, everyone. Okay.
We take a week off and forget how to do this.
Yeah.
What is
streaming?
What is that?
What?
Not like we
How
were
do we
experts to
D&D?
begin with.
Right.
I have no idea what you're doing over there. I'm just going to say that right now. Anything critical I say is because I don't know what you're doing, and I
It
think
only
it's kind
took
of
us
funny.
a year and a half to figure out how to stream. It's fine. No big deal.
They don't need to know that. We're going to edit that in post, everybody.
Yeah,
We're
just
very professional.
everybody come back in a week and watch this on YouTube. And
No, stay here.
Oh, yeah, stay here. Please stay here. Ignore me.
Get more friends. Bring them all.
Let's just zoom forward a week real quick.
All right,
So,
Thorn,
to
are you
recap-
going to try to pick this thing up?
I'm trying again to grab one of the sparks, but this time I'm grabbing a bucket, but I'm not quite bright enough to like follow that through. So I'm using a bucket in one hand instead of just two hands. So I'm like halfway to protecting myself from harm, but I'm trying to grab one. So another athletics test.
Yes.
Okay. 17.
17. Let me check. That's actually very close. That doesn't quite get it. You grab, like, you take this bucket and you slam it over the top. You think you've got it because, like, you're a physical and athletic person, and then you hear like this little, and you look over and it's just right next to the bucket, and then it hops away into like some other garbage and sets it on fire.
I got it. I didn't get it.
Sam is up.
All right. Gonna grab the bucket from Tana and the one that I'm holding and run back outside and fill them up again.
All right. Oh, actually, those buckets have already been grabbed. I think unless there's two other buckets in here, the bullywug grabbed those and went back out. I think there are. He gave you fresh buckets. Did you already use both of those?
So he first came out with two buckets. No.
Yeah, he gave two to you.
Tana and Thorn grabbed those, and then he
Got
brought
it.
two more, and I grabbed those.
So Thorn has one bucket. You have three between the two of you. Two of them are with the bullywug who ran outside. So you have one bucket you can go and run and fill up.
Okay, I will go and do that.
All right. You are
and it's-
filling this round.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to put you over near him. He's got two buckets filled up as well. Sophira, it's now your turn. You going to make it rain?
Yeah.
Make it rain on that house.
Yep. I'm gonna hold my holy symbol. So Luna, make it rain, and I'll clap my hands together and draw them back. And 10 gallons of water suddenly appears in a 30-foot cube and then drops from the sky as rain.
All right.
Yes.
Roll
I love that spell.
roll a d6 twice, once for each of these, because that's basically an automatic hit. It's a lot of water, but it takes a lot to actually put these things out.
Is that putting out the fires they started though, like around?
Those are
It
mostly
does extinguish-
it'll extinguish all fires that are lit in this place, but this is also directed towards the coals. The coals are the bigger problem. The structure is not on fire yet because it's hard to set on fire, but the coals are the bigger problem right now. That's how big
That
is
is
that
a
area again?
6 and a 1.
Did you say 30-foot area?
30-foot cube.
30-foot cube.
Yeah.
I gotta see how big that is. I don't know if that's going to get the one that is. No, this is not correct here.
Are they 10-foot cubes or 5-foot
They're
cubes?
10-foot cubes.
Oh, 10. Okay. Oh,
And you're sort of in two different rooms. I think you might be able to get all of them. 10, 20, 30, 30. Yeah, I think you can get a pretty big area here. So roll for all of them.
Okay. So I rolled
1d6 for each one.
I rolled a 6 and a 1 for the first two.
All right, those are going to be the ones
roll.
nearest to you. The one next to you just goes out, like right there. Poof.
And the third one?
The third one is going to be the one over near Tana.
3.
1 second. And that one goes out. That's the one that's near Tana and was near Thorn a second. Actually, Thorn is still over there trying to grab it. That one goes out. One left, which seems to have avoided most of the rain. Any movement from Sophia? Do you stay where you are? Anything else you're going to do?
I'm going to move towards the.
That also that also puts the fire out that's on you. But I almost forgot. At the beginning of your turn, you did take another 4 points of damage. So you managed to put the fires out now, but your cloak was like literally going up.
Oh no!
My beautiful blue cloak.
I can patch it.
My wonderful skin.
Mm-hmm. Those fires are out now, though, unless this next one jumps on you. Tana's up.
All right, I'm going to run over to it, and I'm going to stomp on it.
What's Tana's movement rate?
My movement is 25.
You are just shy of getting to it in a single move. You'll be able to attack it in the next round because it's down some stairs in a lower section and then kind of in a room over. You have to kind of go a ways to get there.
I wonder if I could throw anything at it. I don't have any. Can I?
Do you have a bucket or no?
No, I'm out of buckets. But can I take Sulfura's cloak off of her and throw it over it? If I can smother it.
Use her cloak. Roll, sure, why not? Let's roll an athletics check. Sulfura, you're looking at your poor cloak, and Tana just rips it off your shoulders and chucks it across the room with this thing.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
All right, you throw it across the room. It lands on top of this coal. Roll a D4 because the cloak is wet. Because everything now in here is wet because Sulfura saturated this place with rain. It doesn't do quite as much damage as maybe a bucket would do, but it does a little.
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4 is enough to put it out. Like it kind of, you see the cloak for a moment, like bounce around where this thing is underneath it, and it just slowly bounces slower, and then just like this little wisps of steam rises from the cloak in the end, and it goes still.
Nice.
Sorry, Sulfura. Heat of the moment. Literally. Sorry.
Okay.
Let
My
me
dad gave me that, but it's okay. We should be able to repair it, right?
Look over the cloak. It's got like scorch marks all over it. Part of the edge is burnt off.
You know, I got a patching kit in my backpack here. We'll see about it. Yeah.
Sure.
Tana, you pick this thing up. You're going to need a pretty big patch. You're like, it'll be okay. And if you've ever seen like cloth that's gotten a little bit too roasted, it just sort of like falls apart. And like this hole in the center just like detaches and falls to the ground where the hot coal was.
Hey, look, now it's a poncho.
Or it's just like a cowl. It's just the hood and the shoulders.
Yeah. Sophia is now just a gunslinger in the West with a messed up poncho. Just imagine you like at some point in the future you've been in like the Prismere for who knows a month or something like that. You've seen all this crazy stuff. Just out of the mist, Sophia comes with like this now a poncho that's like ripped and shredded and burnt at the edges and just is like this hardened Feywild traveler now.
That might be the end of this. That's true. That might be Sophia at the end.
That might be Sophia.
When you were asking earlier, how we're all doing as players, and I'm like, Sophia is on high alert after animated armor and some talking trees and all the stuff we've seen in the last 12 hours? I don't even know how long we've been here. 30 minutes? Who knows?
You've been here over a day now because I believe you rested at Ptolemy Hill.
Okay.
You've been here now. Yeah, you've been here now a little over a day, I think. Maybe 2 days.
Okay.
Because you arrived, traveled to Ptolemy Hill, rested, and now you've traveled almost a full day back the other direction to get to Downfall. So yeah, you've seen some stuff. You haven't seen another normal person since you've arrived here. Everything has been strange. And these little animated coals are just another strange thing in a strange world. The bullywug, after you've put these out, comes running back in. He's got 2 buckets, full. Sam is with them. They're ready to put out the rest of the fires, and they're done. And the place is sopping wet. The bullywug looks around and he says, "Oh, it's all over then. You put them out. You are heroes."
And I'm standing there with my bucket of water, and I just kind of look at Tana.
It's good. I'm fine. I'm good.
Thorn's
That
still
cloak
looking
looks
around
like a smoldering.
for the one that got
oh,
away. I've got my bucket. I'm looking behind stacks of books and things.
Meanwhile, outside, the snail is just sitting in the swamp, chewing on something. There's a little burning coal stuck in the mud next to it.
I look at the bullywog in front of me and I say, "Good sir, what were those things?"
Oh, my lady. Oh, it's you, sir. He looks past Hannah, over your head, and sees Thorn kind of, walking in, and the crown, the Witchlight, monarch crown is right there. He seems to have forgotten about everybody else for the moment as soon as he sees that. And he's like, "Oh, your majesty. I did not know we had such a important visitor, a very important visitor to Downfall.
There's
I am honored."
There's true bafflement on Thorn's face for a long second. So he looks really confused at his friends and then goes, "Oh," and then straightens up a little bit. Yes, that's right. The honor is all mine.
Oh, no, it is all mine. It is so good to see a true monarch grace our humble village. I am a duke, but not nearly as important. Duke Icrind, you may call me.
A pleasure, my duke. And Thorn looks at Sam and Tana. He is drowning. He is begging you for help.
Oh, Duke, good Duke. I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Icrind. Duke Icrind.
Your Excellency, thank you so much. Yes, we have the Witchlight monarch with us, but he's trying to keep a low profile, as you can tell by him wearing the crown out in the open the entire time. But, so lovely house you have here. Is it normally this wet, or is this just a special occasion?
Oh, no. This is not my home. This is the factory where we build balloons.
Right.
But I have been put in charge of it. This is my responsibility. And unfortunately, the rest of them think it is only my responsibility. And he goes to a window and he yells out at a couple of bullywugs that are just, floating by in a boat. "You lazy bums! Thanks for all the help!" And he slams his window and turns away from them and then turns back to your group and bows deeply again. My thanks. You have recently come to Downfall then? Have you come to see our king?
No. We're actually here looking for somebody else. Do you happen to know somebody named Clapperclaw?
Oh, yes, I do. He's not far away. He likes to spend his time on the bridge right next to the factory. In fact, if you open that window here, you might be able to see him. He takes you to another window that faces a little bit towards the east, cracks it open, and you see that the balloon factory seems to be set right on the edge of the northern part of the lake. And then there is another sort of inlet, this whole village is sort of surrounded by little rivers and streams that all come to this lake and from one side and then go out another side. Or maybe it's just fed from a bunch of different areas. The physics of this world don't work in a normal world. But you see that there's this bridge and some sort of poles next to the bridge with something sort of affixed to the top of them. And about halfway on the bridge, you see this little figure, maybe the size of a boy, sitting with its boots kind of hanging off the edge of the bridge and swinging them casually. You can't quite make it out from here. The mist is sort of concealing, any details. He says, "Oh, that is Clapperclaw over there. That's where he spends all of his time. He likes to speak to the old monarchs."
The old monarchs?
Yes, the previous kings of Downfall. That's them over there on the pikes. Or I should say, that's their heads.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
gruesome.
No, not gruesome.
No?
No, they offer good advice to the current king. Sometimes, if the current king is wise enough to ask them. Well, it would be wise not to ask the one that he deposed, but maybe the ones before. Yes.
They can speak?
Well, yes, they can. The monarchs are important beings here in Downfall. All monarchs, including you. He looks towards Thorn.
Yes, of course. How long do these monarchs usually last before they get,
Well, it depends on how clever the next king to be is. The current king has lasted about 2 months.
Is that a long time?
There have been shorter and there have been longer.
What's
Some
the
quite
longest
long.
reigning?
Well,
that
one
kind
lasted almost a year.
With that kind of turnover, you must run out of kings quite quickly.
Oh, but now there's always someone that wants the throne.
Why?
Well, to feel important. To decree things to the people of Downfall.
For like a month?
Well, there was one that lasted a month, but he tripped and fell on someone's dagger.
Yeah,
Sure.
Seen it happen 1,000 times.
Thorn is surreptitiously trying to take off his crown and stack it in his pack.
Seems
Yeah,
smart.
Duke, we would consider it a personal favor if you could not mention that we happen to have the Witchlight Monarch here with us today. We're on a, sort of secret, clandestine information gathering mission, and we would consider it a great personal favor if you could help us out.
Oh, of course. If you wish to remain anonymous, I can do that. I owe you a great debt of gratitude, and I will see it through. The rules of reciprocity demand it.
Thank you very much, Duke Grind.
Of course. If you need my help, or if you encounter others in the village, you can show them my symbol, and they will know that you have at least my backing and my approval. And he reaches into a pocket in his cloak, and he pulls out a brooch that is shaped like a fly. It's made of brass. Seems to be fairly well made, considering the state of this village. Everything seems to be kind of like not of the best quality, but this is pretty good. And you notice as he hands it over that the wings tend to like flutter on their own, like every few seconds. So it might have some sort of minor enchantment to it.
And this will be a good thing to have, right? Like, it's not going to show any political affiliations that we don't understand, right?
Only that you have the favor of Duke Grind. That will take you so far here. For instance, it would probably, should you be found wandering about places maybe you shouldn't be, you can say that you are my guest.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's not as powerful as that of the king, and if you require anything from him, you could even show this brooch, and that would grant you an audience easily with King Golub.
Very good. Thorn, you want to wear this?
Right. Yes. He reaches out to take it, but it's pretty obvious he would rather anything but he takes it nonetheless.
Well, you're so fond of jewelry.
Oh, yeah, I am? I am.
Crander.
Ah. Say, would you, if something was taken, do you know where it would be taken to?
What do you mean taken?
Well, like, for instance, someone's sense of heat and cold?
Memories.
Dreams. And stored away, perhaps, for Bavlorna?
A rock with a hole in it.
Oh, you have lost something, and you believe that Bavlorna has it.
Oh, I mean, we're just
Maybe.
spitballing.
Oh, I am no fool. I know what you speak of. Yes, Bavlorna, she collects these things, sometimes holds on to them for years. You must have done something to break one of her laws or grab her attention if something like this was taken from you.
I mean, we weren't even here in Hither.
Oh, I do not know the rules of where you are from then.
Are you familiar
Apparently, we don't
with
either.
the Witchlight Carnival?
Oh, yes, I can see from his crown that you've been there, yes.
Right. Well, that's sort of where all this started.
Ah, that would make sense. Yes, the carnival. Bavlorna and her sisters, they are patrons of the carnival. They have influence there. It used to be that Sibylna, she was the one that was the patron for all of Prismere, including the carnival, but she has, well, gone missing. And all of these authority has been resting in her sisters.
Yeah, we heard that. So you don't know where Bavlorna may have stored these things?
Well, probably in her cottage, right out there. He points out again out one of the windows towards the mists. If you wish to get these things back, you will need to deal with her.
Is she, I peer out the window, friendly to visitors?
Oh, she is like all others in these realms. They follow the rules, hospitality, reciprocity. If you go there with no ill intent to her, and without stealing or breaking her things, she will receive you as an honored guest, even if you are her enemy.
All right.
Oh, okay.
There may be something we should bring. My father always taught me when you go somewhere to never go empty-handed. Is there a gift we can bring, or food or something?
If you offer her some sort of a gift, then she must offer you something in return.
I look at the gourd of memories and kind of bite my lip and think.
What sort of gift would she appreciate?
That I cannot say. I myself have not been brave enough to go to her cottage asking for favors. Some of those who have done so in the past have regretted regretted the things they've asked for. While others have gotten exactly what they were due. At least one or two kings I have heard of.
Well, perhaps we should go talk to Clapperclaw and get his, opinion as well.
Well, he is right out there. You can find him there. He's probably going nowhere. I think he's depressed.
No.
Is there anything
staring
else?
at those heads all day.
No, well, yes, that has something to do with it. You will see. He himself has lost his own head.
Oh.
Right, yeah. Cabbage, squash, gourd, something. Is there anything else that you need help with? I mean, the place is sort of a shambles at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, no, you have done enough. You have rescued the balloon factory, and my job and authority here remains intact because this place remains standing. I thank you. I owe you a debt of gratitude. And the fly that I gave you, that is just one bit of it. Should you need a place to rest, you can come here if you wish. And this, I will offer you what I can. Maybe by the time you need a place for your head to rest. This will be clean enough to suffice.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very good. I draw myself up to a little bit again, like trying to play the part of monarch and be like, you are a very loyal subject, good Duke. Thank you.
Well, you don't know that, but we'll say yes.
Thorn's clearly confused.
When you meet King Gollum, should you meet him, you will understand then.
Ah.
All right.
Well.
We'll leave you to it.
All right. As your group leaves the balloon factory and heads towards this bridge where you've seen Clapperclaw awaiting, let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back and as you arrive on the bridge.
All right. See you guys in 5 minutes.
We will be back shortly.
Oh, hold on.
Everyone.
Hold on,
right.
folks.
Sponsors!
Hold on.
First,
There's
a
a
word from our
sponsor.
sponsor.
You have dozens of dead lining the roads in your haunted village, but you need to clean up before the next adventuring party arrives? Is your frozen fjord chock full of freshly finished off fighters who failed their foray into the frightful forest? Are there just so many goddamn corpses clogging up your dungeon corridors that not even extra strength gelatinous cube in a can can cut through the biomass? Or perhaps you're just a simple tyrant, wishing to instill a crippling fear into you or someone else's citizens. Or maybe Grandma's last wish was just to fly. Well, boy, do we have a service for you. One Last Fling Body Extrication Services. Our crews are specially trained in the construction, operation, and creative use of our patented Corpse Away trebuchets. That's right, for only 10 gold per body, we'll yeet those corpses far the hell away from you and make it someone else's problem. Ask about our bulk discount. And a special New Year's deal, 25% off your first service of the new year. One Last Fling, hurl your cadaverous problems way the fuck over there. One Last Fling is a subsidiary of Nerul Tech Enterprises. All dead bodies eventually end up serving the god of death in his unholy war against the light. Anyway, thank you.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh my god. Our sponsors just keep getting weirder and weirder, guys.
We're working on it. That's what. Yeah.
That's the plan.
Brilliant.
Nerul Tech is slowly working up to the weirdest stuff, I feel.
Well, we're going for like kind of a corporate rivalry here between Vecna Corp and Nerul Tech Enterprises.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Ooh.
Who will win?
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you in a bit.
All right, break time.
Quick break.
See y'all
We'll be
in a
back.
bit. Welcome back, everyone. We are returned.
Hello. We are back. Are there any announcements that we need to make for anything? So normally when we do that, right?
Yeah, just a quick, want to remind everyone that we are, for our we're trying to once a month, for new people, we're trying to once a month do a non-D&D game. Usually not on a Tuesday night, some sort of special occasion. This upcoming month, and I'm trying to bounce between like really new wave modern RPGs and like super old school nostalgic RPGs. So out of everything that White Wolf has produced, the one I feel like this should be a game show. Like, which one are we gonna run? Do 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 do. The Street Fighter RPG. You guessed it. Actually, I would be shocked if you guessed it because no one's ever heard of the Street Fighter RPG. It's the most underrated RPG ever written. It's amazing. Never got any traction whatsoever. Most people don't even know White Wolf did it. It's totally unlike anything else they ever did. And it's the most fun I've had in combat in any tabletop RPG ever. So
When have you played it? That's what I want to know. And who did you play it with? Because I had never heard of it before you mentioned
Oh,
this.
man. Look, in the 90s, I was a big White Wolf. Like, me and my friends just played. This was what we did with our lives. Like, there were times in high school and right after high school where we all lived together, and we would literally just game every evening, every afternoon, every weekend, constantly. We typically did, and it was all White Wolf, and typically it was their traditional stuff. Vampire, so much vampire. Werewolf, actually we did almost no werewolf, just a little, but mage, vampire and mage were the big ones. But we did some changeling, we did some exalted, and we did some Street Fighter. And it is the only thing that's not in the World of Darkness timeline. It's just its whole other universe. Apparently, the only reason it exists is because the White Wolf guys, like I heard this on the internet, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently the White Wolf guys were playing the Street Fighter video game in the break room on their lunches. And after a minute, they were like, hey, this would make a cool RPG. So they called up Capcom. Nobody had the rights to make a tabletop, so they got it and did it. And that was that. And anyway, it's just fun. It's different.
And then you and your friends played it for a few weeks in the summer of 90 something.
Campaigns. We did I ran a campaign. Our main GM ran a longer campaign. One of our other players ran a very weird campaign all about animal hybrids. Yeah, it's a wild world, but if you want to learn more, stay tuned, because sometime in January, we are going to be playing Street Fighter. More TBD.
I am so happy we're going to finally play this game, because you have not stopped talking about it since we met 7 years ago.
You're gonna put an end to a 7-year conversation about how great this game is.
Yeah.
And she's probably gonna play it and be like, it's okay.
That's probably what's gonna happen. Hopefully we spark a whole new interest in people playing Street Fighter with RPG. Yeah. They're gonna be like, we have to track this down. Where can we find it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it. At first I wasn't, but then I started to think about like pro wrestling and my pro wrestling persona. And I was like, okay.
Yes,
I can get into this.
That is how to do it. That is how to think about it. This is pro wrestling, the RPG.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right. I think I can get on board with that now.
All right. That's all I got.
All right. So we'll get to that craziness at some point. But right now we've got the craziness of the Feywild. And this group, actually, speaking of wrestling, Thorn was just wrestling hot coals in a balloon factory. And now we've come back and they've left this factory heading towards this bridge that leads to another section of downfall. And on this bridge, they've seen the silhouette of a small figure that they have been told is this guide named Clapperclaw. As it was described to you by Jingle Jangle and also by the Knight Talavar, Clapperclaw is some sort of construct, like a scarecrow, but not like a normal one. It has like these claws for hands, and although you've heard that it has like a gourd for a head, you've seen these images, these visions of him like switching his heads around, trying to find like one that's different. And apparently, the head that he's got might not be his normal one. And it was also sort of hinted at by Duke Ickrind that Clapperclaw is a bit depressed over the current state of his head. As you make your way to this sort of bridge walk that crosses between land masses and downfall, it spans like this little arm of the lake, and it's lined on one side by rows of bullywug heads that have been set on wooden spikes. At the center of the bridge, you come across this small figure that sits with its feet dangling over the side. It matches the description that you have heard of Clapperclaw. It's sitting there, its feet kind of dangling. You see, like, instead of like actual legs coming out of its pants, it's got like little sticks or branches or something like that. You can actually see sticking out of its pockets straw, as if maybe it's stuffed with straw or it's carrying it around in its pockets. Not entirely certain. In that instead of a normal head, it has this gourd that is kind of weirdly shaped. It's just vaguely head-sized. And though it doesn't have a mouth or eyes or even any features of like a person, it seems to be talking to itself in sort of bemoaned tones. And as you approach, you hear it speaking to the bullywug heads that are on these pikes. And you were warned by Duke Ickrind that these heads speak back, and you can hear them speaking back as you approach. In fact, there's kind of like a cacophony of voices as they're all trying to talk over one another to be more important than the one next to them. And some in the distance you can kind of hear calling out as well. Ones that are not close enough to hear the actual conversation are just kind of calling out, I can't hear. What's they saying down there? And the ones that are up close are saying, don't worry, little fella, you'll find your head. I'm sure it'll pop up somewhere. What does your group do? He's kind of standing there.
Jesus. Hello.
What the hell?
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice head you got there on a stick. Excuse
Greetings.
us. Clapperclaw?
Yes. So the voice comes from this figure, and the gourd kind of turns your direction. As it does, there's a little bit of a rattle, as if like there's something inside this hollow gourd that it's got for a head.
Hello, good sir or madam. We're friends of a mutual friend, Sir Halavar. If you remember that person. Well, dragon.
Yeah. Yes, Sir Talavar. He's a knight.
Yeah, he told us that you were a good guide, and we're looking for a guide through hither and beyond.
You're trying to get to Yawn? Well, I don't really know Yawn that well, but I know how to get to I know my way around hither and thither. I've been to thither before.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll take what we can get.
I believe we were trying to reach the Summer Queen, and Sir Tolliver said you might be able to take us there.
Oh, I don't know how to get there. That's a whole nother realm.
Oh,
Well,
I misunderstood.
He just said you could show us around this place. Hither?
I do. I know hither pretty well. Thither even better. That's where I'm from. That's where I was created. Created in Loomlurch. Used to be a regular old scarecrow. Then I hopped off my stick one day and walked away. Never to return. Well, until someone asked me to take them there, I suppose.
Well, that's the spirit. Just hop right off your broom and go see the world.
It was great for a while. I wandered all over. And then I wandered into a bunch of bandits over near the Brigand's Tollway, and they stole my head.
oh no, that's terrible.
Yes,
Awful.
it is. It's totally awful. This head, I don't like it very much. Makes a funny noise. Shakes his head, and you hear like that rattle again. But it's better than an old piece of cabbage.
Was your
it an
head
old piece of
left?
cabbage before?
I tried it on for a little while, but it started to get smelly.
Oh. What did the head that you liked look like?
Oh, it was magnificent. It was beautiful, and it was white, and it was a skull with big antlers.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea. Hey, Thorn, could we see that armor we found for just a moment?
Oh, yeah. Thorn takes off his backpack and pulls out the helmet.
Would you like to try this on?
Where'd you get that? He kind of like clambers up onto the bridge and moves closer to look at it.
We found it out in the swamp on our way in.
You got that from the battlefield, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The haunted battle. That's haunted. He kind of takes a step back away from it.
Oh, yeah.
That's not that bad. See?
Oh, don't do that. Ugh, that's creepy.
So that's a no then. Got it. Okay.
No, thank you. No haunted helmets for me.
I told you guys it was probably haunted or cursed.
Probably both.
But it didn't do anything bad. It just kind of mimicked what we were doing, and I made you guys dance. Do you remember that? It was amazing.
Yeah, that was real fun for me. Yeah.
Do you know how to get something unhaunted?
I don't.
know somebody who might.
I know how to get away from things that are haunted.
Fair enough. Well, we'll keep this out of your range and out of your way. What would you say to potentially being our guide? We cannot pay you, but we are crafty.
We could try
Probably
and
find you a new head.
Yeah,
Maybe you can find my old head.
or that.
You look big and strong. Maybe you can put that armor on and beat up those bandits and get my head back.
Well, we do have a pretty good track record of taking down bandits in the area.
You do? You fought the bandits?
Well,
Some, long ears, kind of fuzzy all over.
Yeah, those herringon. Yeah, fuzzy-tailed meanies.
Are those the guys who took your head?
Well, it was their leader, Agdon Longscarf. He thought it was hilarious. I
Wait.
was just minding my own business, and then 1 second he's there, laughing at me and running off with my head.
this isn't your head, is it? And I take out a gourd.
No, that looks like a gourd. Although it's a little fancier than mine.
That's right. You said
It
yours
looks
was
like it's got a little
skull?
hat on it or something.
A skull with antlers, right?
Yeah, it was a skull with antlers. It was great. That was super scary when I had that on.
I didn't see that.
Anything like that when we were fighting those Herringon?
Well, did you fight Agdon or just like some of his other bandits?
You know, we didn't really stop to get names.
That's true.
Well, you would have seen him. Agdon, he wears this long scarf. It's very blue. Blue like the sky once was here in Prismere. Bluer than blue. And like 20 feet long. And he would run around and it just trails behind him. And he's famous. Yeah, you'd know him if you saw him. Yeah, and he carries around like this branding iron. And it's searing hot. And when he sticks you with it, you can't see him anymore.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound like the guy I killed.
Well, yeah, that's too bad then.
Wait,
What I mean,
You did mention him, though.
the sky used to be blue here in Prismere?
Long time ago, yeah. Back before the hags, changed everything around.
You mean back when Sabina was still in charge?
Yeah, when Sabina was still in charge. Place was much different back then. I mean, there were swamps, but like the whole place was in a swamp.
Well, we're actually trying to get her back in charge.
Really? How are you going to do that?
I mean, we're not really trying to do that, are we, Sam? We're just here to find our parent.
Well, I think it's all sort of interconnected in all the weird that's going on. Like with the three hags, like we need to deal with them somehow.
I mean,
to find the parents.
if we have that kind, how much of your memory did you lose? Do you have that kind of skills to take down a bunch of hags and like reestablish leadership in an entirely different realm? Because I don't have that, Sam. In the last 8 years, that is not something I've practiced.
Well, I may have forgotten how to do that, but I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Well, you aim high, so God bless you.
Yeah, shoot for the moon, except there's no moon here. So what do you say? Want to come with us?
Well, I'd like to get my head back. Do you think you can help me do that?
Absolutely.
Well, you
then
guide
yes.
us to...
I'll help you.
Great.
All right, we have a deal. Great. I've never made a deal like this before.
Yeah,
Deals are important here. You do a favor for somebody, they got to do one for you. You do know the rules, right?
Well, you know that one.
That's a good rule.
Sounds to me like that bandit broke the rule of ownership.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't care about the rules. Kind of makes me wonder.
Well, that's...
Is there anyone to enforce the rules?
Now, Florida, she's the one that's supposed to enforce them here and hither.
But it doesn't seem like she's doing that.
Well, she's as lazy as the bullywugs.
Right. Okay.
Doesn't mean she won't get around to it at some point, but I don't know.
Unless, are they... Well, we don't know that. Perhaps they're working together.
Maybe.
He kind of looks around like he's a little like leery of making that accusation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you take us to where you last saw your head and where you think this... What was his name again?
Agdon Longscarf. He's the bandit prince of Prismere.
Agdon?
Agdon.
Okay. Agdon, the prince... Wait, that was the guy that they were singing about, those rabbits. They were singing about Agdon.
Oh, yeah, they got a song. They love that guy.
Makes sense if he's getting them all their stuff. All
Yeah,
right.
he's so important, he's got his own theme song.
Well, I already don't like him.
Well, so that's a little bit of a trek back the way we came. I mean, we're already here. Do we want to go try and talk to Bavlorna? And, just have a chat? Well, we're so close. Or do we want to, marshal it? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but, get a bit more going for us before we actually go and chat with her.
Well, what do you think, Clapperclaw? Bavlorna has some stuff that belongs to us. Is she... You said she's kind of lazy. Would she negotiate with us to get those things back? Or is she just, not going to give them up?
Well, she might. Depends on what you have to offer. She likes to send people out to do chores.
Oh.
If you're good at chores, maybe you get on her good side.
Tana's eyes light up. She's like, oh, I'm very good at chores. I'm very good.
Well, maybe we should check with her. Maybe she's got a chore it needs doing out that way.
That sounds like a pretty good plan. Rather than going back and forth, she may be able to give you some information. Assuming that she doesn't do something else with you. You gotta be careful dealing with hags.
Right.
Oh. Isn't there a rule about hospitality?
Oh, yeah, there is. You can walk into her house if you're there with good intentions. She's not going to do anything to you.
Well, she's not supposed to, according to the rules that she doesn't seem to enforce.
If she's the
So
one...
it seems to me like we shouldn't trust anyone or anything here.
That's probably a good idea. But, people, they do go and talk to her. Bullywugs do. Hobgoblins sometimes talk to her. I know the Herringons have gone to speak to her as well. And others. Yeah, others. Some strange folk just arrived in Downfall a couple days ago. I think they've been meeting with her.
And,
What a strange
well,
folk.
yeah.
Well, they look a little bit like you. Kind of tall, not like frog-like like the others here, not like bullywugs, but very, very pale, and they wear dark clothes, and they got like colorless eyes, and they're creepy. Sort of creepy. Yeah. There was a group of them. They came in a balloon, but not like that one. Not like the bullywug balloon, but like a balloon tied to a storm cloud.
Whoa.
Well, they aren't friends of ours anyway.
How tall
Well,
are
I
these
still hear.
folks?
Well, there's two of them that are real short like I am, and then there was one. She was much taller, about as tall as you. I think they're merchants, but I'm not entirely certain.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you wanted to see their balloon, it's right over that way.
And he points off towards the east.
Can we see a balloon there?
No, but over in the distance you see something flashing, like in the mists and the fog in that direction.
The storm cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Tana goes over and she kind of looks at Thorn's hands and looks back at Sam and says, I think it's worth a shot before we leave to speak with Bavlorna. At least we'll know what we're dealing with.
All right, let's go.
I think I'll stay here. Bavlorna kind of creeps me out, and I don't want to ask her for anything or be tricked into some sort of a deal.
All right,
Yeah,
so we'll go have a talk with her, and then we'll come back and get you, and then go get your head.
All right. We got a deal.
Thank you, Clapperclaw. Gentlemen, I say to the heads on pikes.
Lady.
I give them a bow.
you feel like they're struggling to bow, but their eyes are just kind of like moving around like they can't quite do it. A few of them, just as you're leaving the bridge, are just like, "Oh, well, good luck. Yes, go speak with Bavlorna. Nice lady she is." Another one's like, "But don't trust her at all, or you'll end up on a pike like us."
I point at that one as we walk by it, and I'm
And the one next to it's like, "Shut up, you! It could be worse." You make your way off of the bridge. There's two ways to go. You could go east, or you could go back the way you came. The Clapperclaw tells you that, and you've also heard, I think, this from Duke Ickroyn, that Bavlorna's cottage is in the center of this lake. So you'll have to go back to the snail and float over to it. And you can do that from anywhere that you want. So I'm assuming you just grab the snail, hop on, and just float directly. When you do so, you end up coming through the mists at the center of the lake, and you see the first signs of this structure, which are these poles, because the whole thing is on stilts, you realize. The lower section of the cottage you can't even quite see as lettuce comes floating up to these stilts. But you do see that there is like a small sort of pier at the bottom with steps that kind of spiral up around the stilts into the mists above. And you can just see like there's this dark structure above you as you dismount lettuce onto the stairs and begin ascending. The first place you come to at the top of these stairs is you find like a trap door that just is closed. Do you knock on it? Do you just push it open? How do you want to approach this place?
probably knocking is the most polite thing to do.
It's a very informal entrance to this place. It doesn't seem to be an official one that's at least accessible from where you're coming from. You knock on it. It kind of rattles on its hinge. You realize that it's not locked. It could easily be pushed open. You wait for a minute and there's no response. Knock again, still no response.
All right. Well, let's go up.
Pushing it open, you come into this large chamber where you find that there's this, in the center of it, there's this large recessed pool. The first level of this cottage seems to have been built around this central odd chamber. Even though it's suspended up above the lake itself, she has apparently built this odd sort of bathing chamber. I don't know what you want to call it. But there's a bunch of moldy clay tiles that take up most of this room. It's laid out in like a square, and stagnant water fills the center of it, this depression. Seems to be about a foot deep or so. And when you look around the pool, you see that rising from the center of it is a stone well. And you could actually see the well below when you were coming up the stairs. This is... you haven't seen these before. You've heard about the O-wells that exist in Hither. You avoided one at one point. You heard them, like, gushing in the distance. This might be one of those. Could be something else entirely, but it's like this well, and you see that there's a little bit of water at the top of it. You can also smell that there's like this weird odor coming from this room, something kind of unpleasant and pungent. You also see two other things in this pool in the center of this room. One is a freestanding mirror set in an oval frame. It's over kind of in the far side of the room to the right. To your left, nearby, floats a large lily pad about 10 feet around. And it's the only lily pad in this pool. One thing of note about the mirror in the corner is that it reminds you a little bit of the mirrors that you saw back in the carnival. As you step up onto, there's like a landing that goes around the entire pool, so you don't have to go in the pool to get around. The chamber itself has, let me see, there's a door just to your right behind you, and a window right next to it. Looking out that, you see that it leads to a balcony. To the east, there's 3 doors set into the wall, kind of evenly spaced. To the west, there's another singular door set about halfway halfway along the wall. And in the northwestern corner, there is sort of like a circular flight of stairs that spirals up to a level above. This place, by the way, is a mess. It doesn't look like anybody has been taking care of it at all. You see that the walkway is crowded with shelves and tables and stools of all different shapes and sizes. And almost every available surface is littered with stacks of dirty plates and scraps of old food and just junk. You see up in one corner, there's a pile of dressing dummies that have kind of been pushed up into a corner. Some of them have clothes on them, like a coat here, a hat there. None of them fully dressed and just seemingly kind of abandoned into one corner.
Hello?
You call out and there's no answer. Roll a perception check, though, all of you.
Nat 20.
Beautiful.
I am finally rolling well. I'm so happy.
What did everybody else roll?
Rolled a 17 plus 5, 22.
70,
20 for me.
Dirty 20.
Well, I was feeling good about my 14 until I heard everybody else's rolls.
So, everyone with the exception of Thorn, when you look around this room, you see over in the spiral staircase a small figure peering around like the corner on the inside, because the staircase itself is kind of enclosed a bit. And it appears to be a small frog-like creature, very similar to a frog-like creature that Tana and Thorn have seen before, back in the Witchlight Carnival, when those things went missing from you, were taken from you. It's kind of crouched at the bottom of the stairs, peering at you from the darkness, looking at your group. It's pretty well hidden, but all of you have pretty good eyesight.
Well, since I don't see this, I'm going to do something else, which is suddenly be like, I think I should put this back on now, and get my Witchlight Monarch crown out and put it back on my head.
Okay. What does everybody else do?
Hello there. We're not going to hurt you. We're just here to talk.
When you look at it and call to it, there's a blur of motion, and then it's gone. And you hear like a pitter-patter on the steps, just a real quick, like, and then it just fades as if something dashed up the stairs.
Tana, what was that?
It looks pretty familiar. It looked like that bullywog that took the things from us. Maybe it wants us to follow it?
Oh. What's the light situation like in here?
It's a somewhat dim light, but there is a little bit of light coming in from about 4 windows, 2 to the north and 2 to the south. So you can see well enough, but there's no additional lighting on the inside.
Well, they didn't say not to follow them, so she just starts heading that way.
I go with you.
Nobody touch anything.
Mm-mm.
All right. I'm going to bring you guys to a little map to kind of show you where you are. There's a couple things here that you will see. I'm going to start you out in the room that you're in and show you where the stairs are, and then we'll go up the stairs.
Let me know once you have that map up, and I will share it with the audience.
Should be up now.
I'm not seeing it yet, unless I need to scroll around or something.
It's down towards the bottom, the area that you are in.
There we go. All right, folks, here is the map. If you want to describe what we're seeing, Rob.
This is the first level of Bavlorna's cottage. The preservation pool in the center, that circular thing in the center of the pool is the well, or maybe the source of the water for this pool. The mirror is in the upper right-hand side, giant lily pad to the bottom left. And you are on this platform that surrounds this pool. The stairs on the upper left-hand side. Those are the spiral stairs that lead up to an upper floor.
And these are like broken dolls and mannequins, like dressing mannequins?
Yeah, those are all the dressing mannequins on the upper right-hand side. Some of them clothed, some of them not.
All right. Well, I will look to the others as to what to do.
Sounds as if some of you wanted to already go upstairs.
Yeah, I'm going up the stairs.
Then I will follow.
All right, cool.
I'll be the last one up the stairs. Because while everyone's going up the stairs, I'm going to do one final scan of the room.
What are you looking for in the room?
I'm just trying to take a mental note of everything in the room. Trying to utilize my keen mind feat.
Okay, so you're just sort of taking a snapshot so you can remember. You're not actually looking for anything yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I would also like to be scanning as I'm moving through here.
Okay.
Just sort of looking for anything that looks incongruous, like it's not supposed to be there. Like, like piles of, I don't know, familiar looking rocks, or just, things that would have been taken from somebody and just sort of casually cast aside, something like that.
Give me a perception check.
13.
So you don't see anything like that. There's a lot of debris in this place and kind of a lot to go through. There's doors you haven't opened. There's dishes and other junk that have kind of been dumped around. It would take quite a while to kind of go through all of it. You don't see anything in here that looks like personal possessions. Mostly it's just like someone here, eats their food on dishes and just leaves them wherever. And other is old junk that is in this house. But not the sort of personal possessions you might expect for instance, for you, like a small stone or something that someone cares about. It's all kind of just junk in here. But you do notice one strange thing. What did you roll again? What was your total?
13.
13. You notice that on the dress dummies, as you kind of go around, most of the clothes are... they seem to be home-stitched. They're not done very well. It seems as if someone had an idea to begin making something and then lost concentration halfway through, and then the stitching gets worse and worse. But there's one garment that seems to be a little bit different, and there's this black pointed hat that's on one of the dummies. It seems to be cleaner, better made. It's still ugly as heck. And you're not sure what sort of material it's made of. Maybe some sort of leather or tanned hide of some kind. You're not entirely certain. It's the only thing that kind of stands out in this place is a little odd. Well, everything's a little odd. But this one is odd in a different way.
Carrying on.
All right. Heading up the stairs, your group comes to... at the top of them, about 20 feet up or so, the stairs led out into a hallway. Let me describe that to you real quick. The walls here of this hallway are covered with scores of portraits that depict grumpy, sad, frightened, and angry people. You see figures here that include humans, elves, halflings, and bullywugs, and goblins and others. The portraits here are rendered in a variety of mediums, including paintings, etchings, and sketches. All of them are displayed in gaudy, gilded frames. The only thing that's different about this hallway is one framed oval mirror that's about 2 feet on a side and about 5 feet tall, and it hangs about in the middle of one of the hallways. It's the only thing that's a little bit different. I'm going to bring you up to a new area on the map, and you'll see that there is this hallway kind of goes forward about 10 feet, and it turns to the west and goes down about another 20 feet. In this hallway, you can see 3 doors, one to the east, and then 2 that face each other on either side of the wall to the west. And 1 second, and I'll open that up. If you go up about halfway through the map, you'll see a new spot that has opened.
Those are some pretty spooky portraits. I mean, teach their own with art, but not what exactly I would have in my home.
Are any of them familiar?
None of the portraits are familiar. They seem very, very random. They're all they're like a mix of different styles and skill levels, as if maybe multiple people had created these. Some of them are older, some of them seem to be a little bit newer, but they're all not in great condition. Nothing in this place is well maintained. You see like stains on the floor and mold on the walls. This place is in desperate need of a housekeeper.
Well, shall we just start knocking on doors?
I guess.
These portraits give me a weird feeling.
I agree. Maybe she doesn't like smiles.
Maybe she doesn't like visitors.
Oh, I don't like that. Well, we'll just use our best manners. We'll try to do our best. And hope she'll give us back what's ours.
You can hear from the door right next to you, Thorn, the closest one after you came up the stairs, the muffled sounds of voices on the other side. Sounds like one is sort of a deep and feminine voice, and the other one is a bit sort of high-pitched and raspy. You can't quite make out what they're saying. Seems like they're having a conversation, though. It goes back and forth.
I will knock on the door and say in my best, somewhat booming voice, like as booming as I can make it without truly shouting. Hello? We're here to see Bavlorna. Hello? Anyone? Knock, knock, knock.
After a second, there is a response, and it comes from this raspy voice that you could barely make out.
Yes, yes, come in. Come in. Don't wait outside. My abode is open to all that come knowing the 3 laws of Prismia. Step in, step in.
We only know like one.
Well, we know all 3.
Do we?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
I give the party a nervous look and then open the door.
You open the door, and beyond is can only be described as like a study. It's kind of big, and you see that there is some furniture in here and 2 figures that are sitting kind of opposite each other in the middle of the room. They seem to be possibly in the middle of a pleasant conversation, although it's kind of hard to have one in an area like this. You see the first figure seated in this old time-worn armchair. She's tall and lean and has gray complexion, like a gray-white complexion. She's dressed head to toe in black and wears a wide-brimmed black hat that is just low enough to sort of obscure her eyes. This sort of matches the description that Clapperclaw had given you of one of the other visitors that had come to Downfall. The other figure is toad-like and crouched on this long couch. She has bulging eyes and cracked skin. She's clad in this sort of like shapeless garment, sitting on this love seat that with her legs sort of pulled up under her, sort of like a frog getting ready to spring. As she smiles, a fly comes out of her mouth and kind of flies away. And you realize that her mouth is it's way too large for the frame of this person. It's just like when it opens, it goes like almost to her ears. She has like these large, yellowy, broad-like teeth. And you notice sitting next to her, kind of crouched to her like children to their mother, are two more of those little frog-like creatures that you had seen on the steps. And they appear to be sort of miniature versions of her. The room here, by the way, is filthy, just like the rest of this place. Dirty dishes, bits of discarded food, furniture that was perhaps nice at one point is now, stained with mysterious, things that have been spilled over the surfaces. Things are notched from having been bumped into and just not taken care of. You also see there's a couple cabinets in here. And to your right, just as you come in the door, there is a decrepit wooden staircase that climbs along the wall to yet a third floor, somewhere above. This toad-like creature must be Bavlorna Blightstraw. And she turns, and I said, like she smiles in this big mouth. And when she speaks, it opens like abnormally large, just this big cavernous sort of opening in her face that drops down to like her chest. Well, who do we have here? You are new. Come in. I am Bavlorna Brightstraw. What can I do for you today?
Yes, we're new. I'm Thorn, and I gesture to them.
Please forgive our intrusion, Lady Bavlorna. As my friend said, this is Thorn. My name is Samarand. We also have Tana and Sylphira. We have come from someplace in hopes of finding something, and we have reason to believe that you might know where some of those things are.
Is that so? Is Thorn wearing the crown right now?
I did get it out earlier and put it on, yeah.
Her bulging eyes, one of them at least, kind of turns towards Thorn, seems to take in the crown on his head. Says, "Oh, yes. I think I know what you might be here for. You lost something, didn't you? I can sense it. Come through the carnival you have. Wearing the crown of the monarch, I see. Come in, my lord, come in. That crown, you see, is given to you because of me and my sisters."
Oh, it was?
Well, they're patrons of the carnival, aren't you?
We are patrons of the arts, you see.
Oh, how gracious.
Come in, then, come in. Let's speak. Take a seat if you can find one, my darlings, and we will speak of these things you're looking for.
No, thanks.
Perhaps.
I don't want to stick to anything.
You don't want to stick to anything? Everything looks sticky. So if you're looking for a place that isn't gross to sit in, seems like the only chair that might be not disgusting is the one that this other strange woman is sitting in. And she says nothing during this whole conversation, just kind of holds the tea up to her face, occasionally taking sips and regarding Bavlorna and your group. And there's something you notice that's a little strange about her. This whole area is sort of filled with shadows because there's not a whole lot of natural light. Some of it's coming in through the doorway, some is streaming down the stairs from above, and some is coming through the door that you stepped through. But this other woman, the one with the gray skin and dark clothes, she doesn't seem to be casting a shadow.
Ooh.
And as you step in and begin to make your case, I think we'll hold off here until next week.
Oh.
I mean, I get it.
You
It's
have,
10:20, but
Interesting.
You have made your way to Bavlorna Blightstraw.
give me my memories, or give me my dreams. I mean,
Well, the first thing I'm going to give you is another level. Everybody raise a level for the next game, and be prepared with prepared to tell everybody what you did or what you took or what you got, if you got anything at all.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, 1 week from today, everyone, we will return here to
level 3?
Witchlight. At level 3, we'll be dealing with the first of the hags.
Oh, man, you guys,
yeah,
my D&D instincts are kicking in, and I just want to wreck this woman and this place and everything in it. Like, I just want to destroy it all.
You would not be the first. I have run this for some other people, and the conversations, the sort of like the looks everybody's like characters give each other, like, can we take her? Can we take her? That's, everybody sort of like sizes up the room when they step in here. So I don't, I'm not surprised that you're thinking.
Any place, any hag's hut that has dolls or mannequins or human-esque things that are inanimate, sorry, no, burning it. I don't care. Burning it. Any other character I'd be playing, it would be on fire.
Yeah.
Like, it would already be on fire.
Yeah, just like everything about this.
I mean, I have a personal thing against mannequins and ventriloquist dummies and that kind of stuff. So that's projection of Brandon's feelings onto Sulfura's, but I don't know.
I have a feeling, Brandon, there's going to be some things in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight that are going to push some buttons for you.
No, there have already been buttons pushed. I'm not a fan of clowns, and we've run into a bunch of those. One of them called Thacko the Wacko, the murderous clown. Yeah, I've been a little on edge.
Good. That's how you should be. Shouldn't be.
No, I love it though. I love it because it makes it feel that much deeper, and I'm invested.
Yeah.
Invested in burning this place to the fucking ground.
As a player, I'm right there with you. The problem is Thorn is just a sweetheart. He's like, let's be nice, and they'll be nice to us. Like,
well, Saphira is the same way, like she's like, yeah, we'll help, but like I'm now on edge. Like, I don't know.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
she's
only
super
really skeptical people are probably Tana and Sam, but even Tana can be charmed pretty easily.
It's an interesting adventure because a lot of other adventures, this would be like the boss fight. This is where you'd kick the door down and like fight them or whatnot.
Yeah.
But you need you need something from her.
Mm-hmm.
Whether fighting her is a way to get it, you don't know.
I don't even know if one more level is enough for us to take her. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Especially with weird Lady Dimitrescu not casting shadows.
Oh,
creepy lady in all black.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just to complicate things further, she's not alone, and there's somebody else that's creepy and supernatural here as well.
Do you think that's Gleam?
Maybe.
I'm not gonna.
I mean, they could be visiting one another.
Yeah. She was described as being just her shadow, not the rest of Gleam. So I'm guessing this is either Gleam or Gleam's shadow. Like taken from Gleam? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Is Gleam's shadow actually her body and she's the shadow?
I don't know.
Keep in mind,
Dun.
a tall, thin figure wearing black, typical witch hat and clothing climbs up a staircase on stilts the shadow detaches and then slips away out the window.
Yeah.
This
is that
is
from?
probably Glean.
That's from Brandon's notes.
My session notes, baby.
Yeah, remember how
You're
how
lucky
Rob
that you have
sometimes
Brandon
does
in
those
this game.
flashes?
Wow. When did that happen?
So
That was
this
Was that when we looked in the water?
that was the last game. When
this
you were
was-
traveling from Telmy Hill to Downfall, you had crossed a stretch of water. You're floating across on the snail,
Oh.
and you saw these reflections of events happening in the water
That was-
below.
And it was like
That's what
different
Sulfira
creatures.
saw.
Mhm.
You all
Okay.
saw the frog in the water. I think
We did.
somebody saw something else, and I
Somebody
saw
saw
the
Clapperclaw.
figure.
Yeah, that was me.
Somebody saw Clapperclaw.
And I saw
All
it
happening.
was probably Glean. I even had this. Could this be Glean? Underlined twice. Question mark? Question mark.
My character Tana takes notes. Me as a player does not take a lot. All of my notes are nonsense. There's like arrows pointing to stuff. They're all over the place. They're on like 6 different kinds of paper. Like, it's just like-
Oh,
You need to start just putting those up on a corkboard somewhere behind you.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to mail you some red yarn,
Perfectly
and it'll be great. It'll be great. We'll
That
have
way
you
I am
looking
like
like
Tana.
Charlie Day from Always Sunny.
We need to put together like an art piece of some kind that represents that board, even if it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bunch of weird Post-it notes. I think I have a corkboard somewhere. I'll have to go look around.
No, that's
Take a photograph of it, and put it up somewhere for people to see.
Yeah. So
That should just be your background, Callie. Honestly, it's
it's just like
corkboard. And as the story unfolds, like new things get drawn or changed.
I just like turn around and I pin it on the
But like she's a barbarian, so if she's not great at it, that's perfect.
That's true. That is true.
Every once in a while, you just rage. You punch the board, everything falls down. You have to put it back up, and it's like, yeah, you can't remember where anything was.
But you just do
And
your
that's
best to make
where-
it look good.
Well, that's where Saphira's keen mind comes into play, because we've been working on this for like 8 years together.
We got this.
Yeah.
We have a give and a take.
It's a good thing that Brandon took. That Brandon is also the character that's playing the character that has keen mind, because you're taking very good notes.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, everybody is. I think Ashton, you had mentioned something as well. Everybody's remembering stuff. It's good that someone has some detailed notes that can remind everybody else of things as well.
Yeah.
Or a few of us.
Yeah, I used to be really good at taking notes as a player. I don't know if I am anymore.
I really had to adapt that skill as Silas for the Icewind Dale game. I literally filled an entire composition notebook with notes from that game. And a couple of the pages are from the Waterdeep campaign. But yeah, I've got five separate journals for the 6 games that I'm in.
Takes all kinds of players, man.
I've got a bunch of old journals. I used to write everything down by hand, and I still have them like from 30 years ago. I have them in boxes. Occasionally I'll pull them out. Lots of information. So much stuff.
Ashton keeps every character sheet apparently that he's ever had.
I have done the same thing. I've got all those too with the
So
notes.
I've been
We've
going
got
through
buckets
old
of them.
papers. And like this stack of papers will be like 2/3, like, I don't know, bank records from 15 years ago, and like like stuff that doesn't matter, right? But then the other third is like old character sheets and like creative notes. You guys, today, going through pages, like trying to sort and organize this stuff and throw away the trash, I found my very first role-playing folder with a collection of characters from when I was, honest to goodness, a child. It
Aw.
blew me away.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, looking through that folder was like, wow, this takes me back.
The oldest ones that I have, I didn't actually start playing D&D until I was 16. Like official, like note-taking D&D. Like I had friends that played, and I had a few friends that just did like sort of free fall or free storytelling. Like we would come up with an idea and just run with it. And it wasn't always like Dungeons and Dragons. It would be like sci-fi or spies or whatnot. But nothing I ever took notes down about until I really started playing D&D at 16. And I have my original character and notes and stuff from that campaign still, and drawings and stuff. Yeah, I pulled them out a few months ago. And it's like, holy crap. And I had to like send pictures to the guys that I'm still friends with that played in those games to show them that I still had that stuff.
It's so crazy and kind of fun finding those things, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, Rob, we have been informed to ask you about Planescape in
Yeah.
terms of taking
Oh,
notes.
hey, is that our new person who's talking about
It's,
Planescape? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was one of the oldest
Meadologist.
games. Meadologist. Who is that? Someone. I
Who
haven't been
are
paying
you?
attention.
Show yourself, meadologist. Reveal your name to
Identify
us.
yourself.
Don't do it. That's how they get you.
Don't do it.
That's how the Fae
Don't
get
listen
you.
to Tana. Listen to everyone else.
The Fae will use your true name.
That's your name.
I'll find out who it is. I'll find out who it is.
All the glasses.
What was that?
He said all the glasses, or they.
Hold on a second.
Now I
I'm
know you.
old. Yeah, I can't read anything anymore. I need to have glasses for glasses. It's sad. Planescape was a game that I never ran it. I played in that with a friend who had run Planescape. I think Planescape is one of the best campaigns that was ever written, like for D&D. It had so much depth, and I don't know if any of you had ever played in it, but the entire concept is that there's this city that exists at the center of the multiverse, and it's in this, like, nobody knows exactly where it is. It's somewhere in the outer planes, and it has a city of portals that can go anywhere to, like, even Earth or other realms or planes or any other place. And you could accidentally, like, fall through these things if you just happen to have, like, a key on you that opens these things. The keys could be almost anything. They could be a thought or an item or a phrase or whatever. And the city was basically run by these different factions that believed different things. Some of them just believed in pure entropy. Some of them believed in pure law and order. Some of them just believed in gathering wealth. And you basically, the idea was that you're a part of this city and you've chosen one of these factions, and you're exploring the multiverse sort of from, like, this philosophical point of view. And it was a ton of fun. And the way that the art, that was, I don't know if you guys know, I think it's Tony Dietrolizzi, who's an artist who's done a bunch of stuff for D&D over the last, like, 30 years. Very strange way of drawing. A little bit like the guy that did a lot of the art for Labyrinth. I can't remember his name. Froud, I think.
Brian Froud.
Brian Froud. He has a very sort of Brian Froud sort of, like, style of art. He still does stuff for D&D occasionally, but now he's kind of gone off into, like, writing books and doing graphic novels and stuff. But he had, like, this great look. He did all the sort of concept art for it. Very creepy and just odd, and it was a great game. Like I said, I was a player in that. I never got to really run it.
So I had the Planescape boxed set when I was a teenager, and at some point I let it go because I was moving and purging stuff, and but the game that I used to be running with some of you guys, the Hemberdim and Company game, Skies of Valyria, we got through at 3 acts of that. The final 2 acts are supposed to go to the planes and are based, supposed to use Planescape and Spelljammer. And so I went on eBay and I found, hoping we ever get to finish that campaign, but I went on eBay and found the Spelljammer and Planescape boxed sets. So, Callie, if you turn around, the Planescape box set is right behind you on the
Oh, really?
shelf. Yeah.
Ooh. I still have some of my old Planescape stuff. You should look through that. If you haven't opened it up and looked through it, it'll blow your mind. It's such good writing.
Art's
in there.
beautiful.
Yeah, the art is beautiful. The writing is amazing. Just the whole idea behind it. I can't give it enough props as to how much I love that system. I don't know if I could even run it, like, do it justice nowadays, though. There's so much to it that I've kind of forgotten.
You'd need to brush up.
Oh my gosh. And there's a lot to brush up on because it's the multiverse in a way.
Yeah.
The best thing to do would be to stick around the city. And that's what we did a lot of adventures just in the city of Sigil, which is the name of the grand city, which was set up. It was designed like a circle. Like you lived, it was built like a tire, but you lived along the inside of it. So when you look up, you would see the city above you because it went all the way around.
Halo. Oh, yeah, like the ring in Halo.
Yeah, like the ring in Halo.
A Dyson ring.
Yes, it was a Dyson ring, basically.
Yeah.
A Dyson ring. Oh, that's a thing
It was actually before Halo came out. It was a theory of how to create a self-sufficient society. like what are they, like a type 1 society? And you would build a ring about the distance from Earth around the sun. And it would be, it would harness the power of the sun and be completely self-sufficient. So it's called a Dyson ring.
Yeah.
In
Cool.
Star Trek The Next Generation, they do an episode where they find a Dyson sphere, which is cool.
Where the city was all built on the inside, right?
It's all built on the inside. It's like they don't find a civilization there anymore. It's like been abandoned. Nobody's sure why, but yeah. I actually was doing a Dyson ring for my 3D project back when I was a 3D animator. It kept crashing though, and that's why I'm not a 3D animator anymore.
The Dyson ring broke your ability to do 3D animation.
Parts of it looked really cool too, but well,
there's nothing.
I was better at
worse for
drawing
an
and
artist
everything
than there's nothing worse for an artist than attempting something new and just feeling so defeated by it that you're like, I'm not going to do this art.
Well, and it was the technology from like 2006, 2007, like it was not stellar. maybe
I did stuff back then too. Like, I know what you mean, like stuff crashing and like, I don't know how anybody became an animator back then.
I don't know either.
Infinite patience or just a whole lot of luck or a computer that was, built by God or something.
Yeah. And I'm not even that, like, I'm tech savvy. It was nutty. So I don't know. But yes, that's how I know so much about Dyson spheres and rings.
So Margaret Houlihan suggests we could continue this campaign after the Feywild. After wrapping up Wild Beyond the Witchlight, we could just go to Planescape.
Oh, that would be fun.
Well, it sounds like you're going to Planescape.
If we don't die, man.
I would be lying if I didn't say that I didn't consider part of this branching off into a planar sort of adventure afterwards.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be awesome.
Wait, did you say that these planerscapes can sometimes go to Earth?
They can go almost anywhere.
Okay, I have an idea for a D&D like short campaign, and I want to put it on DM's Guild with some of our other products, where an adventuring party goes to a D&D theme park. And they have to chase an evil sorcerer through a D&D.
It's like the D&D cartoon, but in reverse. You mean?
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you ever noticed it, but there are parts in. Let me go back to the map here for the Witchlight Carnival. The D&D TV series is the inspiration for the Mystery Mine. If you look at that,
is it?
The minecart that they get into looks like that. They go into a dragon's mouth and they disappear.
Wow.
Oh, I never watched the show. I've only ever seen the opening, but yeah.
The opening, that's what it happens in the opening.
It happens in the opening. Well, it's been years, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But if you look at like the map for a lot of the maps in this, the artists who did the maps also wrote most of the adventure for Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and they were inspired by a lot of stuff from like 80s, 90s, and whatnot. They I listened to a podcast with them a little while ago, and they there's stuff little bits that I didn't even notice until I listened to what they were talking about. And there's lots of little clues in all the maps that they have put in there for things they've worked on in the past, for sort of subtle callbacks to other games or
little Easter eggs.
Yeah, tons of little Easter eggs.
Oh, that's great. I love hearing that.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I like games designed by super fans sometimes that aren't like stodgy. You know what I mean? Like they bring something. Yeah,
this one was, this could have easily gone over the top. Like they could have definitely, it could have been too much in this.
Yeah.
Like too much in your face. But I think they were just subtle enough with things to make it fun.
Oh, good.
All right, guys. Well, it is pushing 10:40.
Oh, yeah. We went overtime.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us, folks.
Yeah, everybody that stuck around.
Thank
you for doing so.
Yeah, we were just having so much fun.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Somebody says, go to Planescape.
Planescape.
If we survive.
If we live to tell
when
the tale.
we survive.
I'm sorry, when we survive.
Well, thanks, everyone.
Yep, we will see you next
Have a good
Tuesday,
week.
everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks
have
for
a good
great
New
week.
Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year's. Next Tuesday will be our first game of 2022.
Gotta bring our A game.
Yes.
All
Here we are.
Awesome. Can't wait. Thank you guys again. We'll see you then.
Good night, everyone.